The Iliad by Homer is an epic poem that captures the final weeks of the Trojan War, one of the most famous conflicts in ancient Greek mythology. It centers on the themes of honor, wrath, fate, and the impact of war on humanity, with a particular focus on the Greek hero Achilles. Written in the 8th century BCE, the Iliad has influenced Western literature profoundly, offering a complex look at both heroism and the costs of vengeance and pride. The story begins with a clash between Achilles, the greatest warrior of the Greek army, and Agamemnon, the Greek king and leader of the expedition against Troy. Agamemnon seizes Briseis, a woman given to Achilles as a war prize, inciting Achilles' anger. Feeling dishonored, Achilles withdraws from the battle and refuses to fight, which causes significant losses for the Greeks. Without Achilles, the Trojans, led by the noble warrior Hector, pressed the Greeks back to their ships, threatening to destroy them entirely. The wrath of Achilles and its consequences form the core of the Iliad. Achilles is initially portrayed as prideful and vengeful, deeply sensitive to his honor and reputation. In contrast, Hector, the Trojan prince, is motivated by duty to his family and city, making him a character of both courage and compassion. This contrast underscores a major theme in the poem, the conflict between individual desire and communal responsibility. Homer's world is one where gods frequently intervene, often taking sides based on personal motives. Zeus, Athena, Apollo, and other deities shape the battlefield and influence the outcomes of duels, symbolizing the Greek belief in fate and divine will. The gods' presence emphasizes that while humans have free will, they remain subject to powers beyond their control. Fate in the Iliad is inescapable and often tragic, underscoring the limitations of human agency. As the conflict intensifies, Patroclus, Achilles' closest friend, decides to fight in Achilles' place, wearing his armor. Though he initially helps the Greeks, he is eventually killed by Hector. This event reignites Achilles' wrath, not toward Agamemnon, but now directed at Hector and the Trojans. Overcome by grief and guilt, Achilles returns to battle, slaughtering many Trojans and finally confronting Hector in a climactic duel. Achilles kills Hector and, in his fury, desecrates his body, dragging it behind his chariot in a brutal display. The poem reaches a powerful conclusion when Priam, Hector's father and the king of Troy, comes to Achilles and begs for his son's body. Achilles, moved by Priam's grief and reminded of his own father, ultimately returns Hector's body. This act of compassion brings a brief moment of peace and symbolizes the possibility of humanity amidst suffering and loss. The Iliad captures the dual nature of war. It is both a stage for glory and heroism, and a source of endless suffering. Homer presents a balanced view of heroism, showing both its nobility and its destructiveness. The story suggests that honor and vengeance have costs, and that empathy and understanding can transcend even the most bitter conflicts. Through its exploration of human emotion and fate, the Iliad remains a timeless meditation on the complexity of life and the inevitability of death.